Welcome back to the Truth Factory. Now, if you don't know, I live in Canada, but there's a reason that I rarely cover Canadian politics. This is the reason.
Eternal love is the love that's going to change the future of mankind. So we'd like you to look into
We
that.
would like to say peoplekind, not necessarily mankind.
Now, I'm not sure if he's mansplaining or people-splaining here,
Don't interrupt women.
but Trudeau's become a soy boy poster child for the entire world to laugh at. No one says peoplekind, nor should they, nor is it a real word. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the province of Manitoba was changed to Peopleatoba to make it more gender inclusive. Also, this beautiful animal from this day forward will be known as the Peopleity, and if you don't call it by its new gender-neutral name, or if you fat-shame it, then you are literally Hitler. Now that Trudeau's Peoplekind statement has garnered criticism from the world, he's backpedaled on his statement by saying that it was a joke.
And it's a little reminder to me that I shouldn't be making jokes even when I think they're funny.
And to be fair, I think that it probably was just a cringy joke. But due to his over-the-top political correctness, most people couldn't tell that he was joking. No one can draw the line between where the jokes end and where the crazy begins with Trudeau. That's the whole issue. I'd personally love to believe that everything he says is a joke. Now, this is not even the first time in recent Canadian history that words have been altered to make them more gender-friendly. Canada's Senate passed a bill last Thursday to make Canada's national anthem gender-neutral by changing the lines in All Thy Sons command to an All of Us command. Now, to be fair, the original lyrics were Thou dost in us command, but were changed in 1913 as a salute to honor Canada's sons who were sent to fight for our country. But I guess enough time has passed now that we can just forget about the historical sacrifices made for our freedom by brave patriots. Because apparently being gender inclusive is far more important than honoring Canada's history. Not only was this change to the national anthem not necessary, but I also think making this change in the name of gender equality actually trivializes real women's issues. Like, this is just not important for women's rights. I am a woman, and I am not victimized by "Oh Canada." And if you're offended by the word sons or patriotism, maybe you're the problem, not the national anthem. But it looks like Trudeau doesn't really care about veterans either. And when a veteran recently asked Trudeau why Canada is in a legal battle with veterans over compensation, this is how he responded.
First of all, why are we still fighting against certain veterans groups in court? Because they're asking for more than we are able to give right now. They are asking for more than we... Well, no, hang on.
But here are the things that Canada apparently can afford. Now, even though paying veterans isn't at the top of Trudeau's to-do list, rehabilitating ISIS fighters into Canada is. Again, these are not refugees. These are who the refugees are fleeing from, and Trudeau is more than happy to welcome them into Canada with open arms. This is how he responded when he was questioned about this.
How your stance on ISIS is going to help Canadians in any way. I need to know how you're going to protect future Canadians, like my young daughter, and 10, 15, 20 years from now, when you're letting people in with an ideology that just does not conform to what we're doing here.
Well, I can tell you, when Italian families settled in Montreal in the post-war years, they faced terrible discrimination and people who pushed back at them and said, no, 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 you don't belong here, you don't speak English or French. Every wave of immigration has faced pushback because of how they dressed or how they sounded or what their belief was, what their religion was. And every wave of immigration has led to Canada being a better, stronger, more resilient, richer country.
Now, I'm really hoping that this is one of Trudeau's famous jokes, because I'm sure Italians love being compared to ISIS fighters. ISIS fighters are not a race or religion, they are a group of extreme terrorists. Yet Trudeau actually implied that ISIS should be treated like everyone else because of Italians. Now, I'm sure ISIS will love feminism once they get used to it. Maybe if we're just nice enough to them, they'll all stop being terrorists. Okay. A while ago, Trudeau said that Canada had no core identity and that it was the first post-national state. He even implied that this was a positive thing. But eventually people are going to have to wake up, take the red pill, and realize that the world doesn't run on rainbow power. and that the idea of a multicultural, gender-neutral paradise is just a well-meaning liberal fantasy. Catering to the demands of those who will never be satisfied is futile. There's no endgame for social justice warriors. The real world is harsh, and not everyone is going to get along or feel included all of the time. You're not a special snowflake, and if you can't handle that, then there's nothing that I, nor anyone else can do for you, and no amount of complaining or whining or soy milk will ever make you happy. Acknowledging that fact is actually the first step to peaceful coexisting. Realizing that your hurt feelings don't trump reality or make you special or more important than anyone else. To coexist peacefully, you need like-minded people who are brought together by a common goal and common values to create a culture, to create a core identity. A country without a core identity is just a bunch of people cohabitating on a pile of dirt. There is strength in common interests, not in diversity or special snowflakes. This is not a kindergarten in the sky where everyone gets along, and it shouldn't be treated as such by our Prime Minister. Or as Ben Shapiro simply puts it, Justin Trudeau is what would happen if the song Imagine took human form and then ate a Tide Pod. Thank you so much for listening to my Canada rant. If you like what I do, there are links to support me in the description. Thank you so much and have a great night. Meow.